Probably many of you thought at least once how it would be to travel around the world with an electric van without spending a penny on petrol. In today's video, Joel from Route del Sol will show us his amazing DIY off-grid van. It's 100% electric with nearly 8 kW solar panels on the roof. Note that the video was filmed before the pandemic and at the moment Joel is not traveling as he used to. Enjoy the video!
Hey everyone, I just want to show you guys my solar powered electric camper van. What we've got is a van. It's a 2010 International E-Star, and what I've done is I've taken that electric van and created a solar off-grid charging system which I strapped to the roof of the van. We'll explain more of that later, but follow me inside so I can show you what's going on. As you walk in the door, you can see we have a grass foot mat where you can wipe your feet before you get in, because we're always parked on the beach and I don't like sand in my vehicle. So that's what's going on. As you come in through the door, you can see a beautiful guitar, which I get to play for everybody who I meet on the road. Most travelers really enjoy having a guitar at the campfire and having someone play some music for them. Up here, you'll see our lovely map. This is where we began, right up here in the Arctic Circle, up in Alaska. We didn't quite make it to Dead Horse, which was our plan, but it didn't end up happening. So we've traveled the whole way down the west coast, all the way down here, and right now we're in Ensenada, Baja California. The first thing you'll notice is this big room in the van. And basically this is our shower toilet combination. It's got my wetsuit hanging up there because it's a nice wet area where I can have all of these sorts of clothes and stuff. There's a few storage units inside of here, and also a toilet down the bottom there if you want to have a look at that. Has an exhaust fan which leads to outside, and a dimmable DC switch light with an LED light inside of that. If you follow me through, you can see our full-sized kitchen. It's got a large area for cooking and cutting and cleaning on. Everything's electric. Basically you can plug all of any electrical appliance you want into this. You can have a cooktop, you can have a popcorn maker, you can have a kettle, you can have whatever you want. There's enough power in this van to run anything electric, so there's zero gas, zero fossil fuels used for even cooking in the van. Big range hood up here with a 3-speed fan to send exhaust outside while you're cooking, so your van doesn't fill up with smoke while you're cooking and eating and cleaning. And a little light there too. There's a few carbon filters up in here too, so we're not spewing carbon dioxide out into the atmosphere. The carbon gets absorbed by the filters. Up here is our clean water drinking system. Basically we picked up this canister from Walmart for $3 or $4, and if you want to drink of water, you grab a cup, a mug, and away you go, and it's fresh drinking water in any part of the world. Delicious. We have running hot water. It's hot straight off of the tap. It's very luxurious in a van to have running hot water, and also just a cold water spigot here, and you could make that mixture up yourself if you wanted some warm water or whatever. And some nice racks and cooking utensils where I keep all my knives. The biggest touch I like about the kitchen are my Dia del Muerte tiles, which we got from the tile store here in Mexico. It's really good. And if you come through here, you can see all of our spices that we use to cook and clean, and cups and mugs and anything like that. This is just a little rack where we keep just stuff, medicine, some multivitamins, a solar powered car that we use to describe what our van does to people who are wondering how it all works. And then plenty of storage up here. We have a slide out storage system for all of our goodies that we want to cook with and clean with, and you can reach right into the back there if you're tall enough to reach and see. It's delightful. It's a good way to go. Alright, and then looking back through to the rest of the van, I have a huge king side bed with 2 windows. Basically these windows open up, so you can have a fly screen. If you feel like having a fly screen to let all the air run and flow through. And if you want to open it up completely, we have these 2 emergency hatches. and the window opens up like this. It's kind of like an ice cream window. And then obviously we have these felt curtains for privacy that we can pull shut at night time so that nobody can peer in. Now these windows are completely tinted. Nobody can see in from the outside, but we can see out from inside, just for another added level of privacy. Up here we have our storage cabinets where we keep all of our food. I have a popcorn addiction, so we have a huge jar full of popcorn, and we're running low on rice, as you can see, and probably need to get some more coffee at the same time. But basically this is what we have for storage, and there's 3 units. Don't look too much into there because it's all just crap that I shouldn't have because I live in a van, and the same with this side, it's all just crap that I have because I live in a van. A wok, a pot and a pan, and a camera that apparently lives up there now. And like I said, a big double open queen size bed, so you can stretch out at night time when you're not sleeping with your co-pilot Keegan in the bed. And then up the back here, the last thing you'll notice is an individual book rack. Don't judge me, I like to read books about philosophy and spirituality. And on Keegan's side, he has stuff about without plastic and just a few knickknacks. Mine's a little bit more full because I like to read a little bit more than he does apparently. And then up here is a safe place to keep your laptop at night time when you're sleeping, and maybe a notebook or so, just something to have a little bit more handy when you use it. All the LED lights are puck lights. They're 12 volt puck lights, and they're dimmable, so I can bring them down and up as needed and turn them off and on as needed. Alright, moving onwards, we have our broom closet. Pretty self-explanatory. It's where you keep the broom. I like to sweep at least once or twice a day. Like I said, to keep the sand out. I don't really like sand in my vehicle. Up in Alaska, this came a little bit more in handy. This is an ice scraper. We don't really need to use this down in the desert, but up in Alaska we needed the ice scraper because we kept getting caught in snowstorms. Note to everybody watching, if you're building your own solar powered electric camper van, don't get stuck in a snowstorm. You won't be able to move. Big exhaust fan in here for the electrical cabinet, which I'm going to show you in a second, but the exhaust fan gets turned on in here. It's enough air to pull out for our electronics in the electronics cabinet to not get too overheated. Now, this is the brain of the vehicle. It's the magic area. Usually it's screaming because it's making so much electricity that we don't know what to do with it. But today we're fully charged, as you can see by our battery monitoring system, and we're only pulling in 200 watts on the charge controller here. So we have 2 charge controllers because we have 2 off-grid charging systems, and it just helps to divide and even out the power and bring them into the batteries at a little bit more of a safer level. So these are 2 FlexMax 80 Outback charge controllers. They're really good units. They handle a lot of energy very easily. Moving on to below this, we have our 8 kilowatt inverter. This inverts all of our DC energy to AC energy. And remember when we were showing you the kitchen, how I said you could plug anything you want. And the reason we also have on-demand electric hot water is because of this huge piece of beautiful equipment. It's never failed us, it works perfectly, it's a really good thing. For safety reasons, we have a huge cut-off switch down here. That's a 250 amp breaker, and basically if a fire or anything occurred, I would grab my my fire extinguisher down there, and I would also flip that off and hopefully head for the hills so that I don't catch on fire. But everything's pretty safe. We have breaker boxes and fail-safe switches. Up here is the battery monitoring system. This is our charge hub. Basically I can control energy coming in through the charge controllers to my inverter. I can control energy coming out. I can change the voltages application. Energy comes from the inverter through there to our AC panel. This is our AC combiner box, and basically we have all of our labeled systems here. We have a 40 amp kitchen, a 40 amp juice box, which is our electric vehicle charger, And we have all of our bed outlets and front cabinet 110 volt electrical outlets and all that sort of stuff too. And moving onwards, well, we also have our ports for charging all of our camera batteries. We have our Canon charging system and our Sony charging systems down there. And we also have a drone that has its own charging battery. And I have a one wheel that I also charge using this whole system as well. And below down here, you can see a 12 volt and a 24 volt step up, step down. Our battery, secondary battery system is 48 volts. And I step up and step down from 12 to 48 volts as necessary using these step down, step ups. And that's how I run all of my lights and all of my 12 volt appliances and needs. I have a few winches on the outside of the vehicle too that I run their 12 volts as well. I didn't show you the fridge. We have a full-size 90 litre fridge. And this is one of my favorite things in the van because it fits all of the beer in it and some vegetables. You have to stay green sometimes. So basically plenty of room. It's got a little LED light here that turns on, so at night time you don't have to turn all the lights on when you want to get a little snack at the middle of the night. So huge deep fridge. It's on wheels. The wheels roll away like this. And then I have a little hook here that comes over and holds the fridge in place when we're traveling and it doesn't go anywhere. I want to show you how my bed converts into a table and show you the working space that I work with when I'm on my laptop every day. It's kind of annoying to convert it, so most days I end up sitting there with a laptop on my lap, but I also enjoy having both a bed and a table, and I can configure the bed and table in that way as well, and I'm going to show you how that's done. And just bear with me because it takes a little while. And now you have a complete table set ready to entertain what you could probably fit 10 people around here if you wanted to. Play a big game of poker, some sort of cards or something like that. Yeah, this is basically how you set up the bed from a table. The last thing to show you inside of this vehicle is probably my favorite part. It's the front cockpit or the sunroom, depending on whether you're driving or stopped. If you're stopped, it's a sunroom. If you're driving, well, obviously it's a cockpit. And every spaceship needs a cockpit. Immediately as you walk in, you'll notice that there's a huge panoramic windshield that lets you take some really good photos and videos while you're driving. Up higher, we have all of our storage overhead bulkhead systems, blankets, towels, clothes on this side, and just some other work clothes. The captain's hat, which is very important to wear when you are ready to drive. And you can't forget the most important thing, and that is grandma and granddad's photo, which you have to keep while you're driving to keep you safe. They make sure that I mention them in every video. Love you, grandma. Up here we have another safety mechanism, and that's Buddha. Buddha helps to keep us safe as we are driving through all of the beautiful places that we visit. And actually, I think some random person on the side of the road gave me that and said that I needed some peace in my life, and really appreciate it because I do need some peace in my life. As I was saying, this is the cockpit. This is where we drive the vehicle. There's a sensor in the seat. If you stand up, the van will turn off, and if you sit down firmly, the van will stay on. You need to put your foot on the brake to start it. When you start it, it's all good to go, and then it drives just like any other automatic vehicle, in that you put your foot on the accelerator and you go, and you put on your foot on the brake to stop. Indicators, windshield wipers, and all that sort of stuff. The display is a large, I think like 7-inch display. Basically it shows you your battery status indicator and your speed, and it also has the odometer on there as well. And I think that's about it. We have a fan during the summer to push all hot air around in here. We want to get it out as much as possible so to ventilate this system. Our sun visors are sort of screens that come up and down. There's 1, 2, 3 of them like this, and we have also a reverse camera here where we can see the backing up of the camera. Basically we have mirrors everywhere. These mirrors help to see the front of the van while you're driving, and that one too over there, and then huge mirrors on the side of the van because it is quite a big rig. It has a really good turning circle, but it is quite a big rig that we use to drive. Okay everybody, that's the van, that's the Route del Sol van. That's what we're driving from Alaska all the way down to Argentina. Don't be afraid to leave a comment below telling us what you like and what you don't like about the vehicle. Who knows, maybe we'll take your advice on board if you don't like it and change some stuff. And if you do like it, it's always good to hear that you've done a good job. So don't be afraid to let us know what you think in the comments below. And until next time.